Next up, we are so excited to welcome Richard Tang. A campus-famous guitar player, Richard is known for shredding on his Instagram account, richardtang_music, and playing at various student shows. Come on in.
Hi.
Whoa, how's it going?
All right. So, could you play a little bit for us?
Oh yeah, sure.
Wow, that was really good. Okay, how did you start playing guitar?
Okay, so I kind of just tell people that I was born to play guitar, but that's a joke. I guess. Well, it wasn't my first instrument. I actually started playing piano when I was like a kid, and then I started listening to like a lot like old like rock and blues, and I just felt like I should play guitar.
Do you have any specific influences when it comes to your music taste?
My style's actually changed a lot over the years, but when I was younger, I used to play a lot like heavier rock music, but now I'm more like a blues and funk guy. So, but I would say like my biggest influences would be like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix, and Stevie has like crazy like say like classic Stevie Ray Vaughan like would be like. And say like a classic Hendrix licks would, like a classic Hendrix vibe thing would be like. Yeah.
Wow. You're so good at guitar. Have you ever performed on campus?
That's actually something I get really pissed about all the time.
Oh.
Because, like, I just don't get guitar gigs on campus. I think it's not fair. Because, like, yeah. So basically, so basically, whenever I perform, it's like me and my rock club, and we always talk about how G-Hop did us dirty, but we got into the ABCAP thing, so we're pretty excited to play next week.
Nice. Do you have a name for your guitar?
I actually do. So Stevie Ray Vaughan's like #1 guitar's name is actually Lenny. That was his wife's name, and I actually named that after his #1 guitar. So the guitar right here, it's Lenny 2. It's the main guitar you see on my Instagram. So.
You mentioned you have multiple guitars. Like, how do you choose? Like, what do you look for in a guitar?
For me, they all sound different. Like every single guitar, like it could literally be the same model, but it just like you just have like different connections to different guitars, and they all sound pretty different. They got like different pickups, different like wood, and they all sound pretty different. I got 5 guitars, and I have 3 on campus right now. So.
Why did you bring Lenny too today?
Well, it's just my main guitar. It's the guitar that I'm most connected with. So I just thought I would just. She likes to be played. That's all guitarists. They all like to be played.
What do you like about this specific guitar? Like, while we're on this subject.
Well, it was actually not this beat up when I bought it. So all the wears and blemishes on the guitar, actually, well, it was like a semi beat up guitar when I bought it, but. This like whole chunk that's gone, actually, like I was able to like do it over the years playing gigs and stuff, and so it has a lot of story to it, so it's great. My actual vintage guitar, I have an SG from 1962. That one's actually really clean because I got it in Maine, in Texas. I traded my Les Paul for that, but so yeah, it has a lot of stories to it, and so like it's a Stratocaster model, and that's what like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie played, so it's probably.
And speaking of gigs, like how many have you done, or like what gig are you most proud of so far?
Like, what's your favorite memory?
I actually played at this like Irish pub in summer. So I was recording my first album in Boston, and so the studio owner of my studio actually was a backup guitar player for the Rolling Stones back in like the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
So they had like world tours together, and so he was playing at this pub, and he's like 70-something years old, and for that whole week, his girlfriend was actually like sick, so she had to be like hospitalized, and so he had to be there all the time. And so he was like, "Yo, Richard, can you just like cover for me for like a whole week?" So I did that, and it's funny because for half the week we actually didn't have a drummer, so we had to like play without a drummer. We had the other guitar player and me and a bass player, and we were just like singing like CCR and Hendrix stuff. And it's funny because there were like a lot of drunk people in the bar that were just like, "Oh, I know that lick. I went to like Woodstock or something." And because my engineer would just like my producer will like walk me there every time, and he would just be like, "Yo, chill, like he's 16." So yeah, it's pretty funny.
So would you ever want to form a band on campus?
I technically do, I guess, but we're thinking about a name for it. Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to give us a little performance?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So we also heard that you're dropping your album soon. Care to
I
elaborate?
am. So it's actually my first album. I had 8 songs, and so I did 6 originals and 2 covers, and I did a B.B. King cover and an Albert King cover, and I did in Boston this past summer. So I'm basically done with like everything. I just have to take the album cover picture and copyright it. And it's actually not going to be out in the wild because I'm going to send it to like a vintage guitar magazine. I'm trying to like get an article written on there before I actually release it. So it's going to be a while.
Very nice.
But I got to stay tuned to it because it's pretty nice.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show
Thank
tonight. Can't wait to hear the album.
Thank you.
And check out Richard's social media for more guitar clips.
Yeah.
All right, peace.